Hello and welcome to the Curiosity and Consciousness podcast. The intention of this podcast is to help you to open your mind, get curious about yourself and raise your consciousness levels. Through these conversations, we hope that you will go on an inward journey to discover the truth of who you are and become the conscious creator of your life. I am your host, Karen Maloney, and I work as an inside-out coach, mentor and guide, helping women to revolutionize their internal chatter and create a life they love. Listen to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or whatever platform you choose. And be sure to like, subscribe, review, and share the podcast. Check out my website as well, soulpowerlight.com, for more info. Hello everybody, welcome. It's me, Karen Maloney, and I am sharing a little episode with you this week, and it's all about self-belief and the importance of believing in ourselves and why it's a crucial aspect of my work as well. And I'll delve into that, but before we get into it, just a reminder to join my mailing list, which is available on my Instagram. If you go to my handle at soulpowerlight, click the link in the bio and it's top of the list, and I look forward to sharing with you there. I am on a social media hiatus. I am going in quickly just to share the podcast, but I was getting really frazzled and just needed a break. Even though I follow a lot of inspiring people and I'm all into learning and personal development and growth all the time, I'm not following celebrities or trashy news or anything like that. You know, no judgment, each to their own. But even so, I was just feeling overwhelmed. I was feeling frazzled. I was doing way more scrolling than I normally do, just mindlessly scrolling. So I was just like, I need a break. And already I am feeling so much more at ease and relaxed. And I'm looking forward to the month. And I've already had so many creative new ideas drop in without that distraction. So I'm really looking forward to how the month unfolds, and watch this space as well, because there's a lot that's coming up. But then back to this week, and what I want to talk about is self-belief. And for me, self-belief is really the crux and crucial in everything. You know, if we don't have something in our life that we really, really want, be it a certain job, relationship, money, whatever it is, if we don't have it, I believe it's because there is a part of us that believes that we're not good enough for it, that we're not smart enough for it, that we're not worthy enough of it. It all comes down to what we believe. So it's so important to go in and look at our beliefs. And let's just even break it down a little bit more. What is a belief exactly? Basically, a belief is something that we think over and over again and becomes ingrained in our being. We may not be conscious that's what we're thinking now, but these thoughts would have snuck in repetitively. So then it is a program, it is a conditioning, it is an energy, a frequency that is programmed into our subconscious mind. And, you know, beliefs are really important, and not all beliefs we hold are bad or go against us or are limiting. But the ones that are, we really need to look at those and to change them, because the thing about it is we can change them, because most of the time limiting beliefs are things that we've picked up from society, from culture, from education, from family, from peers, from religion, from whatever. Most of them are not ours. And since 95% of what we do is run by the subconscious mind, that's why it's so important to delve deeper and to look at these, to change them. And that's why as well, these beliefs have such a strong hold, because sometimes you can consciously think, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore, or oh, I'm deciding, you know, I'm stopping doing this, or I'm going to start exercising from tomorrow, I'm going to start eating healthier, or I'm not going to mindlessly scroll anymore. Whatever it is, you will find more often than not, you have the idea. Great. You have a bit of willpower and motivation. Great. But then it fades. It's not long lasting. And that's because there is a deeper subconscious belief that is holding you back, that is keeping you in the same energy of whatever it is that you believed at that time, or whatever it is that you believe. Because if there are still repeating patterns or certain things that you just cannot shift or elevate, it is because of a limiting belief. And for me, Because again, we're all the orchestrators of our own life. Yes, others can have influence, and yes, to the level that other people have influence in our lives is down to us. We can decide to take someone's opinion, value someone's opinion more than our own opinion of ourselves. Sure, we can do that, but does it really serve us? That's an individual question. Most of the time not. So when we begin to believe in ourselves, for me, there is so much that shifts within us. Because for me, self-belief leads to possibilities, a new way of thinking, creating new meanings for yourself, knowing your value, your worth, knowing that you're deserving, you're definitely worthy of everything that you've ever desired. It is elevating, shifting your energy, your frequency, being a new vibrational match for things that you actually desire and not things that you don't want. So your belief is everything. Because whether we believe we can or we can't, we're right. We're always just confirming to ourselves. It's not really about anyone or anything outside of us. So that's why it's so important that we go within, we connect to ourselves, we see what we're thinking, we see what we're doing repetitively, we look at the deeper beliefs below the thoughts. And if they are limiting, if they are holding us back, we change them, we shift them. It doesn't have to be a complicated process. But it is a process, and it does take your work and dedication and commitment. That doesn't mean it's hard. The hard part is just actually doing it. It's not actually rocket science. It's not so difficult, but it's something that we do repetitively. Like I still keep debunking beliefs about myself, keep elevating, keep shifting, keep believing in new possibilities, creating new empowering beliefs and stories for myself. Because again, I'm the only one living my life. I'm the only one who can live my life. And when we are living connected to our soul truth, our heart, our desires, what lights us up, what makes us feel good, as opposed to living in the idea of having to be someone for someone else, trying to live up to someone else's expectations, etc., we're not coming from our true heart. But when we are coming from our true heart, our intention is never to hurt anyone. People may get hurt and offended along the way, but that's not really our responsibility, because if we are doing what truly lights us up, our intention is never to hurt someone, to criticize someone, to judge someone. If that happens in the process, sometimes that's a part of it. But again, when you believe in yourself, when you know your worth, when you know your value, when you know your desires, when you know what you truly believe and what you truly want, and you're doing the work to get there, if these things crop up, if someone has a criticism, if someone passes a judgment, if someone wants to tear you down, you don't allow it to affect you, because you also see that each person is living their life as well. And each person is reacting, interacting based off of stuff and limiting beliefs and what's going on inside of them. So you learn not to take things personally. You actually learn so much compassion when you're on an inner journey, because you begin to discover and see how many blind spots you actually had to how you were living your life. And I can totally attest to that you actually have compassion and see how others are blind and playing out their limitations and their lack of belief in themselves and the things that are holding them back subconsciously. You see how that's where they're coming from as well. So you just have compassion, and you develop this energy and this sacredness for your own energy and your own desires and what you truly believe in the life that you want. And it's like this invisible force shield. And again, it's when you're connected to your heart, it's coming from a place of love, and it really doesn't matter anyone else's opinion, because everyone's entitled to have their opinion as well. But why would we give someone outside of us, why would we give their opinion more value, more weight than our own opinion of ourselves? Like never. That should never happen. But we only do that when we're feeling less than, when we're not believing in ourselves, when we're not feeling worthy. So this is why it's so important and valuable to work in your own self-belief, because the idea is, well, nobody's coming to save us. There is nobody and nothing that can save us. It is all our own decision. The power is all in our own hands. That does not mean someone cannot support us. Of course they can. There can be mentors, leaders, guides, therapists, whatever, to help us. But it's still us who has to make the decision. It's still us who has to do the work for ourselves. People can help us to see these limiting beliefs, and I do all the time in my work, but I still can't change them for someone unless they're willing to change them for themselves. We can work on them together, we can see them together, but it's them who has to do the work to embed them and ingrain these new beliefs and to elevate and believe in themselves. That's all on us individually. Nobody else can do that for us. But again, when we do it, we just develop this other inner strength and force field and love and compassion and joy and ease and flow, because we are believing in ourselves, we are believing in our desires, we are believing we are worthy of what we truly want, we are believing we are worthy of what we desire, we believe we are deserving enough to have what we want, we believe that we are good enough, we are smart enough, we are sexy enough, whatever it is. And again, it's this thing of enoughness. Enoughness is not based on comparison. I don't need to compare to someone else to feel enough. Again, it's an inner state from believing in ourselves, because the reality is there'll always be someone with more or less. And that's not to say someone is better or worse than anyone else. We're all one human race. We're all from the same source energetically. So again, this self-belief, this believing you're good enough, worthy enough, strong enough, sexy enough, whatever it is, it has to come from you. It's an inner job. Nobody else can tell you that. Well, you can believe them or not, because if you don't feel it within yourself and have the experience of it within yourself, which is a feeling, an energetic, a vibrational shift, people can tell you till you're blue in the face that you're good enough, you're incredible, blah, blah, blah. But if you have these limiting beliefs, and I'm sure we can all relate, you're not going to believe them. And that's why it's all on us. It's all down to us. And that's empowering as well, because once we get into the flow of things, we realize, it doesn't really matter what anyone else wants, what anyone else is doing. It's all about, what am I doing? What do I desire? How do I desire my life to look like? Because I recorded a video before about our desires and beliefs. And our desires or beliefs, if we have them in our heart, they're source given, they're God given, they're universe given, whatever you want to call it. They are ours and they are possible. They are done. The work is doing the inner work to believe that we're worthy and deserving of these things, so we can be an energetic match for them and we can bring them about. That's the work. Because again, when we turn inwards and actually begin to feel into and vibrationally know and feel that we are worthy, that I am deserving, that I am good enough, that I am whatever, that I believe in myself, I believe in the support of the universe, I believe in possibilities, well, then there are new possibilities. And we open up our perspective and we realize that we have the opportunity to create the meaning of our life. You know, things in and of themselves don't carry meaning. Things carry the meaning that we give them. And we often don't realize that we have the power to create a new meaning, because again, things have just been passed down societally, generationally, culturally, whatever it is. But the reality is you can create a new meaning for any single thing in your life. And again, that's stepping into our power. That's remembering who we are, believing in ourselves and our worth, to be able to reframe things, to look at things from a new perspective, to realize that we have more possibilities than we ever thought. But it's just how we're feeling, what we're carrying within us, these limiting beliefs, and how we're choosing to view things and the meanings we're choosing to put on things holds us back. But again, the importance of self-belief. When we begin the inner work, the inner journey, again, they're like blind spots. We begin to see all this and make the connections, and we step more into believing and knowing our worth just because we are here, because we incarnated, because we are a child of the universe, we are divine, we are worthy in and of. It's not dependent on anything. We are worthy because we are here. We were born worthy. We were born deserving. We were born enough. But it is this inner work to believe all these truths, is that inner work, seeing our limiting beliefs and writing new empowering beliefs and stories for ourselves, and then thinking thoughts in line with those beliefs. So we literally do elevate vibrationally. We were creating new neural pathways in our brain. We have a new normal that's actually more constructive and supportive as opposed to destructive. So self-belief, vital. Be curious, begin to look at the thoughts you're thinking, write them down, and then see what might be the beliefs below them. Of not being good enough, smart enough. Usually beliefs are around not enough, something. They don't have to be, but a lot of the time they are. And see, how can you rewrite those beliefs? How can you change them so they are more empowering? And then what thoughts can you think in alignment to those beliefs? And then start thinking them and feeling them, and they will become a new normal, because like that, we are literally creating new neural pathways, and we are literally elevating our internal energy and vibrations so we can be an energetic match for something new. But again, whether we believe something is possible for us or not is all down to us. Whether we think we can or we can't is all down to us. So, what will you do? Let me know how you get on. And as always, if anyone wants to work one-to-one, needs some support with this, please reach out, Karen@soulpowerlight.com, and we can have a chat. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you get notified every time a new show is released. Get more information on this week's guest as well on my website, www.soulpowerlight.com.